Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Mr. Chris Pratt.
Yeah, right. Talk about that being his year. James Gunn. I love that we live in a world where the director of Slither gets to make just a huge $200 million Marvel film that's an overwhelming critical and commercial success.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who say this is their favorite Marvel movie, especially I would say people who aren't like big Marvel fans. Like both my parents loved this movie.
Sure.
And it's so fun. And it really was kind of crazy. If you look at James Gunn's resume, I mean, I know he was kind of a writer for hire on Scooby-Doo movies and stuff, but his stuff he directed, it's out super. You can't get more extreme. But yeah, just taking these really strange characters and a director who's a very offbeat choice and just completely nailing every aspect. That was amazing.
Yeah, this was that, like, I'll be perfectly honest, when this movie was coming out, I'm like, this is going to be where the bubble bursts. Like, this is going to be the movie that comes out and it's like, all right, everyone pump the brakes on these Marvel movies.
It's either the jump the shark moment or the moment that Marvel just,
And I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. And then because I don't know, but most people did not grow up reading Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I know a lot of people who read Iron Man and Hulk and that stuff, but like, no one really knew what this was all about. And I went to the theater super incredulous, and I'm like, this is possibly my favorite thing Marvel's ever done. Yeah.
I mean, it really, love or hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what I like about Guardians of the Galaxy is it gives Marvel so much freedom to, like, if people are getting tired of, all the stuff happening on Earth, we got this whole other thing going on, and, like, this whole other set of stories, and, like, the universe doesn't need to be, like, little winky nods. Like, they can do completely other stories, with other awesome characters. It also showed sort of the strength of the Marvel brand. Like, people are willing to give them a chance.
Yeah.
Like, the movie is awesome, but you wouldn't know it was awesome, before you sort of sat down in the theater, with a raccoon and a talking tree and all that stuff. Like, and then if you put your trust in Marvel,
I like that you sat down in a theater which also had a raccoon in the talking tree.
Sure. Yeah.
I like to watch movies with raccoons. Going into this also, you have to remember that unlike Avengers, they didn't have the benefit of multiple movies to introduce these characters.
Right.
So it was just a bunch of new characters who are also very outlandish, like the tree and the raccoon, and yet we love them. Like, people love the characters. I think that was a huge testament to the success of the film, was people liked them and found them funny, and I know that's why I know people who saw this movie multiple times.
Yeah. It's got a lot of heart. I attribute a lot of that. Obviously, a lot of that's in the script. But again, like the Lego Movie, the casting here with Batista and just choices
Zoe
that
Saldana.
in hindsight makes sense. But again, up front, you're sort of like, all right, I don't know, this sounds a little strange. Bradley Cooper turned in a great performance.
I think there was something. What was special about it was a sort of escapism you got for going to this fantasy world for this film, which got you away from these sort of like terror-ridden major metropolitan North American cities that most of the rest of these movies take place in. Like, those are fun sort of romps, through downtown New York or whatever it is. But a lot of them are sort of like these things come in and these big brawny guys fight all these things and these buildings fall down and everyone's okay at the end. But this was just like, wait, where are we? We're on this weird planet and this guy's like, he's sleeping around with all these different aliens, but he's not calling him back. Like, what? Who is this guy? He's a scumbag, but I love him. He has this Han Solo thing going on. Like, it's really cool.
And we have to talk about the opening credits, because that's when the movie had me. The second that song kicks on, he starts dancing in the middle of this desolate alien landscape. It's like, you have me. You have me, because this is not like anything I've sort of a normal movie. It doesn't go by the rhythms you're expecting, but it's so fun.
The soundtrack in general is just phenomenal. And it's the way they even positioned it to be a mixtape. On this Walkman that somehow never really runs out of batteries or whatever. We don't ask.
Space batteries, man.
We don't worry about that.
Kree batteries are great.
There you go. It's also, we talked about this in the 2011 episode with Thor and with the first Captain America movie, where it just keeps proving that the Marvel Cinematic Universe can be any genre it wants. Like, we can have a horror movie, we can have a straight up comedy. Like, it doesn't. There's no rules anymore. Like, you can do whatever you want in this universe. Yeah, totally.
And if you take your time, not every Marvel movie is amazing, but if you take your time and you're thoughtful about your characters and your design, like, I really love the designs in this film. If you look at any frame of it, it's distinct from everything else that Marvel has ever done.
Because there's a raccoon in it.
But even Ronan is kind of a weak villain, but he looks so damn cool.
So, if you take your time, audiences will respond. And again, sort of like we talked about, with Destiny and Hearthstone, like, if you take care of your audience, they'll sort of take care of you in turn.